Manic Magic Monday morning on the hottest breakfast show south of the Sahara, north of the Limpopo. Hashtag Jeffrey Gunza on Hot. Yes, indeed. Straight off. Waiting for this interview for a while, folks, and our guest decided, you know what? He was in a meeting in Parliament early this morning, and he says, listen, let me finish my meeting, and I will come over afterwards, and I'll make sure I come. And guess what? He has honored his commitment, and he is here. He is the MP for Saboti. That's right. He is Calb Amisi. Second time MP in Saboti. Mheshimiwa, karibu sana. Na Luyai.
Luyai is perfect. Yeah, all my three names are 5 letters. Very easy.
Luyai,
Calb, Amisi, Luyai.
Caleb, Amisi.
5 letters.
Yeah. Na Anaka youth?
Only youth. No, not Anaka, surely. Look at this.
Umegonga 40.
No, I'm Nico 37. I'm 37. Sasa CID kwa hapa.
Toa.
Yeah.
In Vihiga.
Yeah.
Siniko kwenu.
So utazaliwaje Vihiga alafu unaenda Saboti?
No, things happen where you can't choose where you are born.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah, hata wewe unaweza zalia mtoto hapa. Lakini wewe unatoka wapi? Transnzoia. Na kiwa amezaliwa Nairobi.
Yeah.
Lakini we ni Mteso?
Teso means what? As in the tribe?
Yeah.
No.
We ni
Maragoli.
Kai.
Yeah.
Ni nyinyi?
Ni umwetu lakini anaongoza
Uko.
Yeah. I'm actually the first Maragoli to ever been elected by Bukusu Nation.
Wow.
First ever. Yes.
And twice.
And twice. Once inaweza kaa bahati, but
yes.
Twice.
Alafu,
so when they say Luyas are not together, I wonder.
You are ODM.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Your most of the MCAs are?
I'm the only ODM the whole of Transnzoia. Actually, last parliament from Team Wanyonyi's Westland, the next ODM you'll get was Calb in Saboti.
Really?
Yes.
Last parliament meaning 2020.
And actually even now, because I'm elected twice on ODM.
Yeah.
Last parliament, all my MCAs, all of them were Jubilee and one ANC. Yes, all of them. So no, there was no MCA who could now represent me in Matanga, in wherever, when I'm not there, because all of them are at different parties.
Right.
This parliament now is only one MCA who is now an ODM. The other one is ANC, and the rest are UDA.
What?
Yeah,
But
and the
ODM,
DAP and that.
ODM looks like it's dead already.
Well, if you say so, but
what do you say?
there is a lot that has happened. It's not the ODM that I envisioned when I joined. You know, initially I was with Peter Kenneth na Westmeck.
Unajua kusema Peter Kenneth
2013.
Jeff sana. Unajua huyo
ni best.
So basi wacha niache.
Anasema tu ulikuwa na Peter Kenneth.
But you see,
chama yake ni gani?
alikuwa na chama ndio Kenya National Congress, KNC. Tuna Westmeck. So you know we went to Starehe Boys Center. The Starehe, the university.
Pia ulienda Starehe?
Yeah. But I said we, including me. So we used to meet these old boys of Starehe. We take mbuzi together, and then Peter comes and say, "I'm vying for president. You know who is going to ICC, all that."
Yeah.
I'll take over. I say, "There, Starehe boy is going to be the president." And nikamwambia nakushikilia ground. And I went to campaign for him. I put my name on the ballot. I got 4,000 votes, and I was alone. KNC was not known.
Wow.
When people were asking for candidates, and during that time, they say there are 7 candidates and a toddler moving around. So I was not a candidate in the eyes. I was a toddler moving around.
Yes.
But 2017, now I packaged myself well. I took over ODM, and I won. The rest is history.
As they say, it's history.
Yeah.
Huh?
And of course, I did good work on CDF. I've been ranked severally. On one of my areas of strength is bursaries that very slow, low, vulnerable, disadvantaged people have been able to benefit out of my bursary. Historically, it has never happened. And the best way I do it is that I go to village by village and I do it myself. So I ensure that at least to the lowest person, whatever small it is, it has reached to the vulnerable, the most vulnerable people. So it has made me to be in touch, personal touch with wananchi. And so 2022 was easy for me because they were not voting for my tribe, no party. My tribe, Maragolis are accountable in Transoya. They're not even 100. Yes.
Wow.
I campaigned, and the whole of my campaign was in Kiswahili.
Ish.
Yes.
Because Bukusu is a bit
yes.
technical.
Yes. The whole of Kiswahili. That's why I say my story is unique.
Wow.
Nobody has my story. Nobody has my story.
Is that the direction that our politics ought to take? Because unapata wewe pia na huyu mwingine wa baba, huyu waria baba
Junet.
Yeah. Pia unacheki ni Warges, lakini
you
Migori inakuwa ni amazing pande yake, si ndio? Is that where we should head as a country, that irrespective of your background or your ethnic background, unaweza kaenda because of your policies ukwe elected anywhere? Is that the direction
that is where we need to go? And it happens. If you look at me campaigning all through in Kiswahili, and of course the area is cosmopolitan, but predominantly was Bukusu. Since time immemorial, it has been ruled by Bukusu. And there are also Sabots who are almost 30%. They were voting for Ruto and voting for me as an MP. So basically, there is something they found in me that was beyond the party. They could leave the party candidate. They left a Sabot who was a sitting senator. Actually, I was the only person who was vying against a colleague, because my senator, Michael Mbito, decided to come for my seat. And he was I was competing against my colleagues, and he was Sabot. So they left him and voted for me. So you can actually transcend tribes. And if the young people package themselves well and they look at my story, because my story is unique, and it actually gives hope that this Kenya can change, because the people who voted for me and they had trust and they put their hopes and aspirations in me were the youth. Because they carried me and they said, Calb, let's go. Yeah. We can make it. You have no name. You are no godfather. There is no party. Your name is not known. Your history is not known. But you want to change this constitution. And the change came. I am a Maragoli, elected by Bukusu. Right. When Bukusus were on the ballot.
Correct.
They could have easily chosen a Bukusu and said, we don't want Maragoli.
Correct.
It has been oscillating around Mudavadi, Wetangula, because predominantly Maragolis are on this side politically, and Bukusus are on this side politically. If I did not carry any vision for Saboti, if I was not a credible, audacious leader they were looking for, Bukusus will have opted to vote for a Bukusu. Why? Because wacha tuende na wetu. The reason why people look at if Luya is subdivided is that they have not seen a potential leader. So when they fall to their sub-tribal leader, it's just the lack of option. If Ruto, for example, was a Luya will be a president. If Raila was a Luya will be a president. They are looking for, that's why you see Luya votes are between Raila and Ruto. They divide because Luyas are looking for a fighter. They saw it in Wamalwa Kijana. They saw it in Masinde Mliru. They saw it in Martin Shikuku. They have seen those people have galvanized Luyas before. During Wamalwa's time, Luyas unanimously supported Wamalwa and he became a vice president to Kibaki. Yeah. They have come together before. Why? Because they saw a leader. But the people who have been there, they have no credibility, they have no leadership acumen. And that's why they have never brought people together. The moment somebody like Calb stand up and they see this is a person we can trust, is capable, he has the enthusiasm, the charisma to stand and say no and be right and be principled. I was looking at, I'll show you the history. I was just outside there, I was looking at how people have been moving from one place to another. And I was shocked that for 30 years, we've been with Mudavadi and Wetangula.
30?
More than 30 years. No.
Story.
More than 30. I will tell you, Jeff, when I was, I schooled at Saboti Primary, became number 1. And that's how I went to Starehe. Because I went to Starehe with a padlock alone. Yes, I went to Starehe with a padlock alone. How did I get to Starehe? Is because I performed well in a very local school, a small public school where I was walking on foot. Unarudi nyumbani unapata ugali ile imelala na strong tea for lunch. But I became number one. I beat all the academies around. That time when I became number one, I received a check of 20,000 by Kenyans from that area who were living in US. They were fascinated by my story, that this is an orphan who has beat all the odds and become number one in Western region, and he has been taken by Starehe. If I was not even taken by Starehe, I'll be nobody. Because basically, even if you've scored highly and you have nobody to get care of your school fees, you'll still be a house boy there and a border person. Yeah. I received that check from Musalia Mudavadi when he was a vice president of the Republic of Kenya. The time Moi gave him about 3 months to be a vice president. He gave me, donated, because he was the presiding chief guest during the cultural festival. He gave me, this has been donated, we give to the chief guest to hand over. He handed over that check without even a coin on top as a vice president. I reminded him recently when they brought him to vetting, because I was in the committee of vetting appointment. In Parliament. Now I'm serving second year. And I asked him, my brother, you remember you gave me a check when I went to Starehe, when I was going to Starehe? Not from yourself, but it was donated, so you are just giving me because you are the chief guest.
Right.
Now, I've finished Starehe University, I've hustled, I've struggled. Now I've gone to be a member of Parliament. I'm now second serving member of Parliament. You have been brought to me to vet you, to become for a position that is not even in the Constitution.
Yeah, prime
cabinet. Yeah.
Prime
cabinet.
Yes. I asked him, do you have an ambition? And people say, I'm mannerless, I was not respecting, I'm arrogant.
Yes.
I say, we have to speak, man. Yes. This is 30 years. When I was 3 years. This guy was a minister of transport. When I was 3 years, anatoshanaje?
Yeah, transport and communication.
Imagine.
Uko na mtoto nyumbani 3 years, unajua anatoshanaje? Nikiwa miaka 3 alikuwa minister wa transport. Now I'm a member of Parliament twice. A person who has struggled, an orphan. My father died before I was born. My mother left me when I was 6 months old. Wow. And I'm now a member of Parliament. But I'm still vetting this guy whose father was a minister,
yes,
who was given MP on a platter, on a silver platter. And I'm still vetting to become a minister again.
Yes.
35 years later.
What did that mean to you? Like, what did you see?
There is a big gap. There is a big gap. Jeff, and that's why you see young people are mad and you wonder why. There are things that they are seen. When I was outside here, I looked at our politics since Moi went. In 2002, we always have two horse race.
Yes.
In 2002, Moi must go. We had Raila on one side, Kibaki on one side, Kalonzo on one side. On the other side, we had Uhuru, who was Moi's project, supported by Ruto and Musalia. 2007, Raila on one side. The Ruto who was with Uhuru has skipped, now he's with Raila. Musalia who was with Uhuru, he has skipped, now he's with Raila. Kibaki who was with Raila is now with Uhuru. Alafu Kalonzo katikati. Now 2013, Raila on one side, Kalonzo is there. Wetangula joins the force. The other camp, Uhuru, Ruto, Musalia. 2017, we have Raila on one side. Kalonzo now has shifted from being katikati, has joined Raila. Now Musalia there. The other side, now Uhuru, Ruto, and Uhuru. 2022, Raila one side. Kalonzo. Uhuru now was the other side, has now shifted, now is with Raila. Now the other side is Ruto then Musalia and Wetangula. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Now we are going to 2027. Raila is there. He has joined with Ruto. Musalia is there. One
Also,
camp.
oh, yeah.
The other camp, Kalonzo and Uhuru. Have those monkeys changed?
No.
Same players.
30 years.
Same forests.
And you've been
Same
going,
monkeys.
Same monkeys, different forests.
you've been going to the ballot voting for change. In all those arrangements, every election you are going to the ballot thinking you are voting for change. Now you wonder, how come Raila has joined Ruto? How? Why not? They have worked together before.
Pentagon.
Why are you shocked? Why is it so fast for these people to merge after election? That's what Kenyans have been taken through. For 30 years, you are voting for change. Which change? If you go to Kalonzo, you think you are fighting change. Wait until they meet with Ruto post-election. Utajikuna.
So wote wamekuwa kwa politics since tuzaliwe, wanafaa kuskata.
It's a mess.
Kwa sababu hakuna kitu wamekuwa kitufanyia. Every time
you know, if these people were there, you see, democracy allows you to continue serving as long as you are doing well.
Yes.
That's why the people of Saboti gave me a mandate to serve them twice. I never imposed myself. They say, you've done good on bursaries. You've done something that has never happened. Please, today I want to vie for governor. They don't want me to let me go. After you guys, people are telling me to vie for governor. They say, Calb, don't dare leave us. We still need you. That's democracy. If these guys had done something unique to this country, we'll not be talking this story. We'll say, let them continue. But the problem is, what is 30 years of this rule?
But then, Muhesh, you're so right about that. But is it the fault of Kenyans? Is it us who keep re-electing the same monkeys in different forests?
Because there's no alternative. The alternative that comes is the same people. They say, like now, what we are looking at the alternative. You are looking at Gachagua and the Kalonzo. Are they alternative?
Simorara has been there.
Yeah.
Mmekataa kumsupport.
Yeah, but you see, let me tell you how people mess up also. There are so many people wanted change in Saboti. And even so many youth will vie. And there's so many whatever tribe, even you can have a Mzungu vie in there.
Yeah.
But you must carry the aspiration of the people. You must know this is politics, and you must know how to play. Obama is a good example. You must also read the time of science. If Obama was vying against Bush, the president, Obama will not be a president. He will not be a president. That's too much to call. But Obama became a president. Why? Because it was the right time. Everybody didn't want anything to do with Bush family.
Correct.
And the Bush was not on the ballot.
Yeah.
Okay? So there is always the reading of the signs of time. Even me, if I was vying against, say, Eugene Wamalu, probably I'll not be an MP. Okay? Because probably that was not the time. So you must also read the time of change. And when you read the time of change, you go lethal on it. The people who come to look at change, they do not give the audacity that is needed to bring change. Now, Kenyans fall back to the same monkeys.
That is so sad.
Now look at what is happening. People are excited with Matiang'i.
Yeah.
Then he goes to Kisii, is received well. The next day is Wamunyoro. Matiang'i, graph down. That is not what Kenyans want. They don't want you with the same monkeys.
Correct.
They identified you as an independent person. Work independent. Come to Eldoret. Go to Nakuru. Address even 10 people. But sell the message. Eventually you will get there. But trying to now woo the same people back.
What about Natembeya?
Bado Natembeya.
Natembeya?
Bado Natembeya. Now you see, again, a mistake. I told him, a very big one.
That's your governor, right?
Yes, I have told, and tulianza naye nikamwambia Western, no, these guys, they have condemned the whole community to oblivion. They need to go. I said I'll be very lethal on Mudavadi, be lethal on Wetangula. We agreed, me and Wetangula, with Natembeya. But you see, politics also need to have brain. You do not localize a national agenda. You see, even if you become the king of Tawe, there is no ballot you'll go and tick Tawe as one. Even if you become the king of Western, there is no ballot you'll say Western Kingpin, Natembeya as one. There's no ballot like that. So you have to decide, are you standing for president? Go for it. Calb will be there with you and will now marshal support for you. You cannot be a governor. You are in Kakamega, you are staying in Tawe, and the people don't know where you are going. They will leave you. They will be there with you today, tomorrow. The next minute you will not hear that Tawe in town.
Amekuacha.
Yes. You must decide, guys, mambo ya Transcending nimewachana nayo. Kenya needs me more than anything else. I'm standing for president. Or I'm standing for to be a vice of somebody, whichever the team.
Yeah.
It must be deliberate, focus, with definite outcome. It cannot just be the normal game of Western Kingpin. There's nothing like Western Kingpin on the ballot. You stand for President of the Republic of Kenya and sell the national agenda, leave the Tawe, the Luyas behind. The Luyas will, out of absent-mindedly, support you because you're a Luya. But don't say you because you're a Luya. Even when I was vying, I sold the Saboti agenda. Luyas absent-mindedly voted for me. I did not say I need Luyas. No. You do not come to the national stage with the local politics. That's where Mudavadi has gone wrong, and that's where Wetangula has gone wrong. Sell the national agenda. Luyas will just look at you and they'll say, huyu ni mtoto wetu. You will get support of Luyas without even saying a Luya word.
You think Kijana could have been president?
Thank you. Did you ever him say Luyas kuja pamoja?
Never.
He was articulate.
Gentleman.
He was a gentleman.
Yes.
People, Kikuyus will see this is after Kibaki. You know, they will see you.
Yeah.
But when you come there, Mlembe, okay, they say, okay, this is a Western problem.
Agenda,
This is a Western problem. Then they keep off.
Correct.
So you will never be a president.
No.
Never. Natembeya got it wrong. He can't. And you must have sharp political mind around you.
Yeah.
Don't just walk with boys in town singing and you think now hii crowd ijaionekana. My friend, we have addressed crowds bwana. We have addressed crowds.
Yes.
It is a deliberate agenda that you must craft. And you must have read it. Because you look at Obama. If Obama mtu black hivi ana convince wazungu wanampigia kura.
Na wanampatia pesa.
Na wanampea pesa. Because he read the politics of Washington.
Correct.
And he did the time. Like now, this is a time for change. But the people who are coming in as change agents, they are messing it up. Obama alianza nini, anaandika kitabu. He tells his story. Haya kidogo, he goes to the national convention. He gives a powerful speech.
Yes.
People are asking, who is this?
Who is this young man?
The people are asking me in Saboti, who are you? Who is your father? Where were you born? People must ask questions. Who is this guy?
Yeah.
Then now you start coming in. But they already know you. So what new are you selling?
Nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
What a breath of fresh air, folks. This is what we need more of.
You cannot localize a national agenda.
No. Now watu
Cannot.
wametuangusha Mwesh.
Yes.
Hawa
Waende wote.
Okay, you give us the scorecard for 30 years. Yeah.
Hata Vision 2030.
Alafu imefanya nini? Kuna mjengo imeandikwa Vision 2030, or what is it? Kenyan is a unique country. We do not have the natural resources.
Yeah.
We cannot be like Dubai.
Yeah.
We don't have petroleum. We can't be like Saudi Arabia. We don't have the minerals. We don't have the natural resources that will put us at par with Russia. Okay? With the economies that are advantageous in terms of the natural resources. We have nothing to say. Dubai here was a desert. But because of the natural resources they had, they are now the center of the globe. It's not the vision or agenda 2060 of the AU or the vision 2030. Kenya is like Singapore, Malaysia, Taiwan, South Korea. They were at par at some point.
Yes.
Those are our peers. Our peers are not Americans. Americans have a long history from the the European Napoleonic War, the World War I, the Industrial Revolution, the Industrial Revolution 1, 2. They have a long history. Civilization started all the way back. At the time we were being colonized, South China was also being colonized, South Korea was also being colonized, Singapore was also being colonized. We have the same heterogeneous society like those ASEAN countries. ASEAN is an association of South Asian nations. All of them. We have the same. Colonial ties. Our resources are agriculture, textiles. No oil there.
Correct.
So how come they are there and we are down? And at some point, we actually Kenya lent to Singapore, Malaysia. If you go to Malaysia, you will see Kuala Lumpur. Kuala Lumpur International Conference. It is a replica of KICC. Borrowed from, a replica, exactly, the structure. It was borrowed from KICC. At some point, Kenyan capital city, Nairobi, was better than Kuala Lumpur.
My God.
So what happened is because this nation looked at the structures. One, they had bureaucratic institution, no corruption. No corruption. In fact, at some point, Singapore ministers were being arrested without following the law, being locked. It was painful for corruption. Number two, value addition. Agriculture, don't just get tea here and land it in Washington or in Vietnam or in Tehran. Value addition, so that you maximize on your agricultural products. Number three, education. Those countries have a highly educated population. This education is free, primary, secondary. They have put a lot of value to education, so that if we are talking about technology, you will go into South Korea and find students practically trying to see how to make a mobile phone. They take education seriously. People are getting internship while at the secondary level they are working in factories. Number three, foreign direct investments. China, you will find Mercedes-Benz is a German model being produced in China. Why? They are taking advantage of the population, labor, which is cheap, and but taxes. It is expensive in Germany. But the population is there, the youthful force, youthful force. The way we are struggling with the youth population bulge, China was also struggling with youth population bulge at some point. Foreign direct investment. That's why they are saying Chinese is a photocopy. Why? How do they photocopy? They copied the technology while the industries were being localized there. And thus China has developed beyond even the countries that were bringing direct investment there. That's where we need to locate Kenya. Kenya must be at the center of the global flow of income. We do not have the technology, we do not have the oil, we do not have all these things that make other countries prosper. So how do? We attract the money. How do you attract the money? Locate yourself, have institutions that are working. When somebody is in Singapore, he knows there's nobody who is going to con him or his money. His investment is safe. Judiciary is working. ESCC is working. It is a corruption-free zone. It is the entry point of East Africa. That is an advantage. It is an hegemony. It's an entry point of East Africa. So these are already, we are positioned geographically, we have an advantage. Geopolitically, we have an advantage. We need to just look at our institutions that are working. Judiciary is working. Education sector. We should not have CBC, fracas into education sector. We should have a good working health system. And we should have said corruption zero. And we tap into the global flow of income by making our tax regime, predictable. Because our tax regime is pegged on the next regime, is pegged on the next finance bill. Our tax regime must be predictable. Somebody sitting in New York knows this is how Kenyans are going to tax me in 2 years to come if I set up a company there. And we may invest in energy to attract production here. Because no country will set up a factory here if OPO is going to blow up overnight, that it kuna blackout.
Correct.
And the cost of operating is in the sky. We must make our energy affordable. Then we will attract the companies. They will settle there. There will be no youth in Madare, over and around. There will be no youth in Kitale destroying ESCC cars. There will be no youth on the street. There will be in companies or in education institutions.
Mahesh, when did the rain start beating us?
I have told you the history of 30 years. That's where the rain started beating us. Because there is a comfort zone that Kenyans don't want to go out. They don't want to leave this comfort space. That even if when I'm talking like now, somebody from Orange House is not happy. He is not happy.
Yeah.
And that person is not better. He's just not happy. But, we must disturb the stubborn status quo for our country to move forward. We must disturb it.
Yes.
If we not, then we can as well say, let's Haiti come.
Not to win the home.
Haiti come. We are actually going towards Haiti.
Yes.
And when a country goes down, Jeff, it never comes back.
Kabisa. True.
In fact, if we don't change now, because when you see on my tweet, I always say Kenya needs a renaissance. And people don't know what I mean. This is exactly what I mean. And there was a period in Europe where Europe changed completely. Right. There was the farming was just the normal traditional farming. The culture was just there. People were uncivilized. Then there was the Renaissance, what we call a rebirth, a renewal. The history of Renaissance is what put Europe to where it is until it colonized almost half of the globe.
Correct.
The sun never sets on the British Empire.
Yeah.
You've heard that statement.
Correct.
Yes, because of the Renaissance. It is a period in time when now you leave the culture, you leave the traditional way, and now they embrace industrialization, they embrace everything. It was a period of change, renewal. That is the period that Kenya needs. Economic emancipation, economic renaissance. Not politically, democratically, we are good. What we need now is economic renaissance.
With the kind of leaders we have right now, are we doomed?
Definitely we are. If you look at even the Gen Z, and because I interact with them a lot, they're also tribal, apparently.
Are they?
So
they say they are tribeless.
At that point, I don't know what came. A spirit just came, and they recognized by the way we need to be tribeless. It was just a moment. After a few minutes, after a few days, they went back to the tribal cocoon.
So if you were to...
But at that point, I don't know whether it was a volcano, it was boiling. The whole country just realized something that, this is the tribe thing that has been messing us up. Did you see the change in just a day? The president could not even sign a finance bill.
Correct.
In just a day. So that is where everything is. We must just close our eyes and remain tribeless. But we must have a leader. That leaderless thing is what messes them up. You cannot achieve anything. Even this world has a leader. There is nothing like leaderless. And I told them, you must choose a leader. And also allow leaders to emerge. So wakati leader anakuja, propel him. You must have a leader. If that leader goes astray, remove him, put another leader. But you must have a leader.
Wewe saizi ukiambiwa chagua your presidential candidate, utapea nani?
I'll choose myself.
Okay. If it wasn't yourself, who would it be?
But I say, give me the names.
No. You don't want to be the one giving you the options already in your political class and world.
I do not know. The only person who
comes up as someone who you can...
See, the only person who has come up, is going to vie, is Kalonzo. Who else has
Would you give him your vote?
No, I wouldn't.
Would you give Wetangula your vote?
I will not.
Would you give Rigiji? Okay, Rigiji can't vie, but he's supporting Kalonzo. Would you give, let's say, Ruto your vote?
No, I'll not. Definitely not.
Natembeya your vote?
Papa Roma.
Yeah, Wetangula.
Natembeya, if he packages himself, because he carries the message of newness, but he has localized it. So he needs to strategize and I'll give him.
Would you give Matiang'i your vote?
Matiang'i must prove himself is on his own.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Not being backed by?
Yes.
Not being backed
by the same cabal.
Which is?
You know, the Urus, the Kalonzos, you know.
Yes.
Would you give Morara your vote?
Morara, he doesn't know what he's doing. He's just in his own world.
Kasimuel.
Yeah, those are people who are just in their own world.
Yeah. Would you give your Mumias East MP your vote?
Let's not even go there.
Why? You don't recognize?
No.
Salasia?
You know, we are also talking about a nation. It's a serious matter, my friend. Yeah, it's serious business.
So utambui Salasia?
Tunamtambua.
Would you give Jimmy Wanjigi your vote?
No.
Would you give Martha Karua your vote?
Martha Karua, a rigidity cannot save a nation. You know, it's not just all about you are clean and you obey the law, but you must know that this is a nation that is so heterogeneous in composition, and you must have a different temperament as a president.
Would you give Baba your vote?
I have given Baba my vote.
No, would you 2027 if he decides to go
run
for it?
No, it's enough for now. The votes I've given him is enough.